Update 37.0.1 releases today, and it will be the first patch since the update 37 with the stat crunch, and hopefully all the bugs we discovered with the stat crunch will be ironed out. And as always, in this video I'm going to go through all the changes. Just quickly, I wanted to mention some minor bug fixes. The River Hobbit vital portraits, so the portraits you see in game, now have better animations and character positioning. The store wagon bracelets and other pieces that reflect damage now reflect the correct damage and not a massive amount, so that has been scaled. The unintended low outgoing healing on gear and traits and everything has been fixed, and outgoing healing should now be normal again. No longer should your outgoing healing be way lower than it's supposed to be. The enemy mitigations have also been fixed. Ever since the last patch, the physical mitigations of enemies were too high, and the tactical mitigations were unable to get debuffed properly. So the mitigations on enemies should now be working. Some class items that didn't have proper ratings now do. And there's been a small change to bonus damage. And just to explain that really simply, when your skills do not critically hit, you will deal more damage than before. So just in general, you should deal more damage with your non-crit hits. We have a few changes to the Burglar. First of all, the Clever Retort, the Enrage, and the Counter Defense that deals damage and damage over time has been fixed. I know that the Enrage damage over time effect was super high, and that's of course unintended. They just didn't catch it in time. But the Counter Defense and the Enrage effect of Clever Retort have been adjusted. Another change to the Burglar is that Mischievous Glee or Mischievous Delight will be increased. This is of course recorded pre-patch, but this healing value that you see here will be increased with the patch. So Mischievous Glee should be stronger than pre-patch. A few Beorning changes as well. The critical defense buff from shapeshifting, the one you can see here, now has its proper rating, so this is also pre-patch. 21k is not proper, so this value should change to whatever they think is the proper rating. The healing potency of Recuperate will increase. This is of course a pre-patch, but the potency of this heal will be increased with the patch. And there's a bug in the Nature's Salve tooltip. It says it generates wrath when it doesn't really generate wrath. So that's another small fix for Beorning. And when it comes to the Guardian class, there's quite a few changes. And because of these changes, the trait trees are gonna reset with the patch. There have been some tooltip fixes that I'm not gonna go through. Litany of Defiance should now properly apply its effects to your allies. The trait Deeper Wounds in Redline no longer affects the Stabbed Bleed. The Guardian's Ward skill will have 0 tact mitigations unless you of course trait Guardian's Ward Tactics. Force Opening can now be properly reset. Catch a Breath and Warrior's Heart, if you're playing a Redline Guardian, their healing will be stronger than it was before. And finally a fix to Bastion of Light. If you had a block response, the radius would be way bigger than intended. This has not been fixed, and the radius should be the same regardless if you have a block response or not. For Hunter, we have 2 changes. The threat modifier on different kind of class items have been fixed, and the searing heat damage from fire oils should also be fixed. So fire oils and hunters should now be best friends once again. A few changes to the Rune-Keeper as well. As most people might know, the Rune of Restoration is way overtuned currently and healing for way too much, so the RK healing stone values will be adjusted. Some of the crafted chisels for RKs had way too high stats, mainly crit rating was like 60k, and these crafted items should now have correct values, but the patch notes also state that there's still work to be done on these class items. And finally, the tactical mitigation values from Armor of the Elements have been corrected. So as you can see, 44k tactical mitigations is quite a bit too high, so this value will be corrected with the patch. And finally, we have some PvMP changes as well. Some of the monster player in combat power regen values have been corrected. The Black Arrow's Punctured Target debuff now reduces enemy mitigations by 5% rather than the armor rating it used to have, but it can only be applied once per target. The Reaver's Glory in Victory has had its non-initial pulse healing reduced. So healing reduction for Reaver there. And the Weaver's Strong Blood Poison Cloud now deals level appropriate damage. Hey! Hey you! Yeah you! What do you want? You enjoy my content and you want to support me? Fine, I'll show you how you can do it. I would really appreciate if you like the video and subscribe to my channel. You can also support me through my Ko-fi homepage. If you're playing or looking to play Lord of the Rings online, there is one place you need to be. The Ghyniverse is a Discord server created for the community of the players of Lord of the Rings Online. The server is getting close to 7,000 members, and in this server you'll find tons of helpful information. There's monthly giveaways, easy access to patch notes, you can keep up with my YouTube videos, my streams. If you're a streamer, you can ask for the streamer role and you can announce your streams in the other stream channel. There are discussion channels for pretty much everything, every class, monster players. But the best thing about this server is probably the Gearing Resources tab, where you can find anything from trait lines for every class, every build. There are stat goals, where you can find out what stats you should aim for on your characters. Really helpful information about drop rates from instances, as well as screenshot from all the new loot that appears in the game. If you enjoy LOTRO, you should definitely consider joining this server, and hopefully I'll see you in Middle-earth. If you were part of the Ghyniverse already, you might have noticed that another tab appeared at the top, the LFF server. This server is a brand new server that I created, the LFF Ghyniverse. In this server, you can select which servers you want to keep up with, and once you select your server, say you select Arkenstone, you will see the LFF, the kinship advertisement, looking for kinship and trade channels, and there's also voice channels if people want to use those. The LFF channel is basically a looking for fellowship channel where people can post if they need players for the runs, and this way people don't have to be logged into the game to see the chat. They can just instead get a notification on their Discord. There's also a kinship advertisement page where kins can post their kinship advertisement and have people join their kins, and you can also post in the looking for kinship chat if you're looking for a kinship, but make sure to take a look in the kinship advertisement first and look through all the kin to find a suitable kin for you. There's also a trade channel if people want to buy or sell stuff that you can use. Hopefully you'll consider joining this server to bring the community even more together, not just in the game, but also outside of the game.